Welcome back to the Brothers Woods podcast. As always, we got myself, Josh, my brother Jared, and new brother Emmitt into the mix.
It's weird because Emmitt's black. That's what makes that weird.
I didn't mean it like that, though. I mean it as part of the brothers.
You almost said Nubian brother, too.
That's great. I'm a staple, man. It's like the core crew now, so then we just have one other random guest. But we don't have that guest today. We've been gone for a month or two because of vacation and then having to deal with some other stuff and whatnot. But we're back.
And there wasn't much to do.
Yeah, there wasn't much to do.
Well, whatever.
The Christmas break, but you're right, yeah. But we're back. Starting with Black Panther. Probably soon we're also going to do Altered Carbon on Netflix, which if you haven't seen it, you should definitely go check it the fuck out.
Yes.
Because it is super good and somehow marketed absolutely horribly. Like, no one seems to be talking that much about it. Like, you'll see a few things here, and everyone I've talked to either mediocrely likes it or fucking loves it. Like, that's the only two things I've heard. So, yeah, definitely check that out. We're going to be doing one on that over the next week or two as well. And probably A Wrinkle in Time, because that's kind of fantasy-like. So I'll probably be down with doing that too soon, which I think comes out in a week or two.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the future. But let's get right into Black Panther and our thoughts. We'll start with a little mini review as always, and then jump into the guts, the spoilers, and what we think for the future. Yeah, so let's start off. Emmitt, what'd you think of Black Panther? A little quickie review, no spoilers.
Thought it was an amazing movie. I give it at least 9 out of 10.
Hell yeah.
Give it 9 out of 10 and see the future for Marvel being very, very bright. Like,
Hell
no
yeah.
darkness in it at all. Because for this movie, it was like it wasn't about if it was going to be good or not. Everybody knew it was going to be good, but it was just about how good it was going to be. And it came out pretty damn good. So
Yeah, props to Marvel right now. I think I told Josh this after maybe you later, where it was just like, it's good, but then again, all Marvel movie latelys have been really way better than the older, like, they feel better than the older movies anyways. I mean, I haven't, like, watched them back to back, but they feel like just another level up.
Exactly. You see the progression of them getting better, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like the Marvel team has just been like, okay, let's turn it up to 11.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, we were definitely talking about this in regards to, like, Thor Ragnarok and whatnot, and we were talking about in regards to Justice League, which actually wasn't that bad of a movie. Like, it wasn't great. But, I mean, I think most of us gave it an 8 or 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
And it was almost, we were saying back then, it was like what Marvel started off with.
Yeah, it was good, but it was like Marvel just moved to the next level,
Marvel
and you're just
started
getting
off
here.
there, and they're just getting here as Marvel moves on to fucking 11 out of 10.
You're getting the standard blockbuster.
Exactly.
Marvel's moving to, like, excellent blockbuster.
Yeah, basically, Justice League just came to being the Avengers, while Marvel has already had the Civil War. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody that came together, been the team, and then broke up now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like they're catching up. They're not catching up. They're just everything happening.
They're so
for
far
them.
behind.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're so far behind.
They just got to do their own thing, man. That's the key.
I think that's it.
Which
Like,
it might be. I saw some reviews or some people talking about it, and they've hired some new showrunner, and they actually just fired Joss Whedon off of Batgirl like a week ago.
damn.
So, I mean, I don't know if it's a good thing. Joss Whedon's always been pretty good as a director of film, but I guess people didn't like
he
the
had
direction
some-
he took in Justice League. Like some
Yeah.
of the jokes he made in it, which were clearly jokes he wrote in.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I remember hearing about that. I think it was tied to the Me Too thing, though. I don't remember what
Not really.
people are said about Josh Whedon, but it was something where they were like, should you really be in charge of this? And he was like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe being that it's a Batgirl thing, which also I've also heard some rumors about them possibly doing like a whole female cast or something, like a Black Widow movie, and they're gonna have like Black Widow and maybe She-Hulk and some others in there. So I don't know if they'll do that though. But back to Black Panther.
Avengers.
That would be interesting though.
Avengers.
Avengers.
Yeah, so I mean that'd be cool.
Call
if
me
they did
Marvel.
that. As long as
But
and actually another thing we should also talk about in the near future, we'll also be doing Jessica Jones. I'm assuming, which starts next week. But I've seen some early things for that, and they were like, it's really so far it looks really, really good. But the one person I saw was a female talking about it. She got to see the first 5 hours. She's just like, it might be too much females in it though. Like they're going a little too far. Like characters that could be a man or something. And she was saying like, you don't have to make every character, like every side character, like there's just no males at all in
Yeah.
except for Malcolm. It's like the only male. Him and some other guy.
You know what? I'm not gonna get into. I'm not even gonna.
Well, this isn't me. I haven't even seen it.
I was about to move into Luke Cage second season. I'm kind of looking forward to see what they do with it. And I was like, I don't need. Why are we talking about this? We're talking about Black Panther.
Let's get back on Black Panther, which was for me was a fantastic fucking movie. I went in like Emmitt said, knowing it was gonna be good. It was gonna be great, probably. How good was it gonna be with the whole movement around it, like where people are gonna be over. Like saying it's better than it actually was, and I don't think for the most part they did. I think it was fucking awesome. 9 out of 10, maybe 9.5 out of 10. It's in my top probably 3 like origin movie, Marvel things. So it's definitely super up there for me. I fucking loved it. I loved the villain. I love both villains.
Yeah.
They were really, really fucking. You can see where they're coming from, even if you don't agree with. And for the most, you shouldn't agree with their methods. But if you're agreeing with their methods, that's a problem. But you can definitely see where they're coming from. Though,
yeah.
Especially with Killmonger. And so the villains were awesome. And then also, like, shout out to Michonne. I can't ever remember her actual name, which I feel bad about. But whatever. She was by far my favorite character in the movie. Like, her and Winston Dukes. Those two were my favorite characters in the whole movie. They were just fucking awesome.
I don't know if I'd say she was my favorite character, but every time she was on screen, I was like, she is so badass. Yeah. She's so cool.
She is so
like,
cool.
She's like pull out a fucking spear to like spear card. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I probably feel you guys 9 out of 10, maybe like 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of probably 9 out of 10. Like, it definitely wasn't a perfect movie for me.
It had some flaws.
It had flaws.
And I kind of excuse some of those flaws like we were talking about, we'll get into, but it was mostly just down to how does it stack up with the other Marvel movies, like, or just other superhero properties in general. And I like things a lot like Guardians of the Galaxy that don't take themselves too seriously, and Deadpool obviously killed it, at least in my opinion. It did exactly what it needed to do, like 100%, I guess.
Agreed.
If you know what I mean, like
in tone and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
they pick a theme and they stick to it, and I think they did exactly just everything they needed to do. And so it's sort of like just a few minor things that bring it down, really.
Yeah.
So it's just really good. Besides that, it's definitely, if you like Marvel in any way, you should see this movie. There's no question about that.
Sure.
And if there were people in that movie that went against like the general tone of it, you would expect the character in that position to have that type of personality and demeanor in that sense. You get what I'm saying?
It definitely made sense because so it's a very serious movie and a lot of tonal seriousness. Yeah. But then they have some humor. It's a Marvel movie. They're gonna have some humor, but it's made at the right times by the right character. Matter of fact,
right? It doesn't
like not to jump back into this, but like Star Wars, the last Star Wars came out, how they had almost too many jokes at certain times that didn't make sense.
Right.
This one, like, it did it perfect. It kept the seriousness, the tonalness of it, where it's like, oh, we're serious. This is real serious business. But then they made their jokes at the right time and by the right characters.
Yeah.
Like Shuri, obviously very playful. So she's going to make jokes.
Exactly. Her brother's the king, and she's the smartest one there, so she's cocky a lot and stuff like that. Just like how Tony is. You get what I'm saying? Tony knows he's the smartest one. That's why he acts the way he acts. He knows there's nobody in the room actually better than him.
Hell yeah. One thing I didn't actually like, and might throw some...
Is it spoily?
No.
Okay.
But, later we'll get into the after credit scenes, and I have a theory on one of them, but I also heard in a video today or yesterday that Shuri might be like 16 or supposed to be 16.
She looked kind of young.
I didn't think she was that young, but I might throw
I didn't think she was that young either.
Throw some shit into my my theory that I was telling you about the other day, Jared.
Yeah, that'd be pretty weird.
Yeah. But, we'll still go into it. Maybe she's not supposed to be 16. You know how, like, they age them up in movies a lot of times?
True.
You'll see it all the time where, like, in the comic, they're, like, 14. But in the movie, they'll play them as, like, they're, like, 20. Yeah. Like, not even just, like, the character looks 20. Like, they literally just move their age up to 20 because it makes more sense for an audience and the things they're going to do. So it's not, creepy. So maybe they aged her up a little bit. Because she did look young, but she didn't look 16 young in the movie. And obviously the actress playing her is probably like mid-20s or something.
Yeah, she probably was 18, and I could say T'Challa was probably like 20.
You think they were that young? I think they were older than that. I think T'Challa's like 28.
I'd say T'Challa's late 20s.
I still think he's like somewhere in his 20s. Because he still seems so unsure about himself. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Throughout the movie. I feel like if you were like least in your mid-20s, you have some more confidence about yourself and what you're doing. But the way he just seemed like unsure at times, it made me think like he was at least like in his early 20s at least.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 28. I got zero confidence in my ability. But anyways, besides that, the movie was fantastic. If you haven't seen it yet, go see it. Make it break another record because it's been breaking records for days, which is awesome, you know? That's fucking dope, and it deserves it. It's a really good movie. Any other thoughts before we get into, like, the spoilers? No. Awesome movie. Go fucking check it out. We're going to start getting into spoilers now, so if you don't want to be spoiled, you should go. Yeah, and so the first thing to jump into, let's talk about the fashion of the movie.
Right. I was actually going to talk about costuming and stuff before, but I was like, whatever, I'll wait for it till we get around to it. Costuming and set design and just the, I don't know, artistry. I don't know what you would call it, like the art theme of the movie, like, yeah. You know, like that future Afrofuturism stuff. So cool. I love it. It's always the coolest thing.
Yeah.
I don't know when that started, but it's like the coolest thing every time it happens. It's this weird mix.
It's in the comic. That's how it is in the comics.
Yeah.
Supposedly, obviously, I haven't read them, but that's how it is in the comics. It's I forget who it was, but I saw a thing they were talking about. Some guy came in and just made the Black Panther comics just fucking cool as shit.
Yeah,
because they were like didn't really know what to do with the character or something, so they just made the culture, everything, just cool as you could make it, just cool as cool could be.
Yeah.
The Afrofuturism is fucking awesome.
It's cool and it looks cool. That's what I'm saying.
And I think one of the reasons that makes it look so cool because you know that they actually have the ability and technology to do like so much more. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, because they have the technology like to make everybody in the city like have hoverboards or flying book packs and stuff like that. But now they still keep it like tamed down. Like everybody still walks.
It's like
ride
traditional.
Bicycles, like have like feed pets, their own pets and stuff like that in a sense. And I also like the fact that even though they're so technological advanced, they still like keep their weapons and stuff basic to a sense where you have to have skill to use it. Because how advanced they are, everybody can actually be running around with a gun. And it's, you know what I'm saying? Like a gun of the sense.
Yeah, but instead they have like spears.
Spears and swords and claws, stuff that you have to have skill to use because they have a gun. You technically don't have no skill to use it to kill somebody. But when you have like a spear or sword, you have to have like good skill like to kill somebody and not hurt yourself at the same time. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the whole thing, it's like traditional stuff mixed with like high tech, and it's super cool to see it. It's like that the shield guys, you know, when they have like the weird cloth, I don't know what that's called, like a shawl.
The thing that turns into like a photon shield.
Yeah, they have like shawls, and then they can like turn them into a shield or something.
That was amazing.
That's cool as hell.
They just adapt culture and then also mix with the technology, which is always really cool to see. Anytime you read like a fantasy book and you see a culture that's developed, but then the technology that might be similar technology to our own, but the way they develop it because how the culture weighs influence on the technology is fantastic. And it is the same here. Super fucking dope. All the buildings look like futuristic as fuck, but they also have that like Wakandan culture, you know, kind of stuff on there, like colors and other whatnot things.
Yeah, I thought it was like just a cool thing to have like this like kingdom and old timely vibe just mixed with this futuristic technology and stuff like that, and just see how it progresses and see how they overall just still keep to their traditions instead of just giving into this technology and letting it influence them too much in a sense.
So it's fucking dope. Let's talk about the beginning of the movie in South Korea. Or let's just talk about the beginning when and in relation to Claus.
Okay, yeah, I was like, that's not where the movie started, was it?
Well, I guess it initially started with him out in the jungle. Yeah, like, or I guess it starts. Actually, it doesn't start.
It starts with him going to save Suri, I think.
Yeah,
not Suri.
Lapita. What's her name in the show?
I don't remember.
It's his like ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, his ex-girlfriend, and soon to be queen.
Well, I mean, not soon, but their ex-girlfriend. I mean, they might be soon to be at the end.
By the end, yeah. By the end, he's like, "You're gonna
like
stay."
He's about to be like right then. So I guess he's got to be announced because it takes place right after Civil War when his father just died. So now he's got to get the rights to be king, and so that actually brings us right into like something that's really dope. So he starts off, does this cool little technology thing. I love him and his relationship with Michonne. I also love him and his relationship with Shuri, but because like right at the beginning, it's like, it starts off in the plane, and she's like, "Don't freeze." And he's like, "I never freeze."
I never
that was
freeze.
actually good. But yeah. So he does this thing. He gets down there and freezes. So they all clearly like know each other and very playful. They're all friends. You know what I mean? Like he's king or becoming king. Michonne's character is like the royal king's guard of the. She's the top of the line of the king's guard. But it's clear that they've had a relationship for a long time. And same with a character we'll also kind of get into, which is Coolio's character. What's his name?
Oh, Wakabi.
Is that his name? The guy with the rhinos?
Yeah, I think it's Wakabi.
That's
something like that.
He just played in Get Out. I can't think of his name now.
Yeah.
I'm so bad with names. But yeah, and so his character had at the beginning, which we'll get into why this gives some issues for me and Jared at least. But him and his buddy, like they're clearly been growing up together and they're like best friends.
Yeah, they really imply that they're like all of those people grew up together and are good friends.
Exactly.
They really, especially between the Get Out guy and
I think it's Daniel Coolio.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean that's his real name.
Yeah,
that's his
okay.
real name.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Between him and T'Challa, it's definitely like, hey man, we've been best friends forever, so it's cool.
Exactly.
Like they do that they have that conversation early in the movie, which will lead to some like, what are you doing later.
So anyways, he jumps down, uses cool technology, beats the fucking shit out of some like slave traders or something like that. I guess that's what they are, like human traffickers or something. And they're like trafficking people, and he beats your ass. He freezes, of course. And it's fucking dope, man. That's the first action scene. There was a lot of complaints like there wasn't a lot of action scene, and I guess there wasn't. But I still kind of liked it. I felt like there was enough, minus the last fighting scene. I had problems with that, which we'll get into. But I love the next part we're going to get into, which is the tribal fights. When he's fighting for king. So, like, he gets her, so he wants her to be there, so when he gets the Nest King. Then to become king, they have this, like, ritual spot over a waterfall. You got to, go there to fight and whatnot. Or, you could be challenged, or you could just be, like, ushered in. But, like, someone can challenge you from the 5 royal tribes. And so, yeah, they do this. Just the culture stuff is so dope in this. Like when they do like the dance thing they're doing, that shit was dope, man. I was telling Jared, if you were sitting next to us in the theater, you would have saw me over there just, like I was getting it, bro. I was like, man, this is dope.
It's just so cultured.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so it was super dope. Everyone doing all their things. No one wants to challenge him. Everybody's cool. They all like T'Challa. They liked his father, so no one's gonna challenge him or whatever. And then comes in Winston Duke, the man with the plan. He's going to challenge him. This is like, so the other 4 tribes, they kind of explained at the beginning, they don't have, they've all been living together, but then there's a 5th tribe, Winston Duke's tribe, which, I guess their animal spirit is
they're like the white ape people, or something like that, and they live up in the mountains, and like the cold.
They're kind of with Wakanda and part of Wakanda, but not really with them. Although I think they still have some technology themselves. I mean, they were living in some crazy cool locations. You kind of have to have technology to live. I feel like
it's just probably that he didn't like he didn't like his father's rule, so he just probably stayed someone that's like really off of Wakanda, like away from him. And then when it was time to challenge, because at the end of the day, it's like they still allowed him to challenge. So he must have some significant value in there.
Well, he's part of one of the original backstory. I guess you actually missed that part.
Oh, yeah.
Because you were getting popcorn for Scott.
Yes. Yeah, it's this cool thing where it's like basically the origin story for Wakanda is there was this area where, the vibranium was or whatever. And there were like 5 tribes fighting over for dominance. And then one dude found the fruit, that fruit that makes them like, Black Panther, essentially. He found that and ate it, and then just like united the whole people into the like one Wakandan tribe. So there's like 5 tribes that make up the nation of Wakanda, essentially.
And so 4 of them were like, all right, cool, we'll be ruled by you, Black Panther. But then Winston Duke's tribe, the gorilla dudes, they were like, nah, we're not down with that. So they went up into the mountain. That's why they live up in the mountain.
Okay. I
But they still obviously are a part of it. Like I guess they still accepted the rule. They were just like, we're not really cool with this, so we're just going to live up in the mountain.
I don't know if that's
like
true.
They're respected, but they won't follow.
I didn't really get that. I felt like they all every tribe got like a piece of land essentially, or they got like their own territory.
I mean, it said it in the backstory that they didn't accept it, and that's why.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
that's what they.
I didn't remember that part. Yeah. Well, anyways, that guy's character. The important thing here is that he like doesn't agree with how the Wakandans. I mean, how T'Challa and his father have ruled. Well, really, his father's policy of like isolationism. Yeah. He doesn't like that. He wants to go out and like conquer the world. Essentially.
Well, did he say he wants to conquer?
I believe so. He wanted to rule.
Okay. He just wanted to be strong and powerful, and whatnot.
He wanted to be like the most powerful nation.
So he challenges T'Challa in this tribal fight, which literally is my favorite. His and then when Michael B. Jordan and him fight later, my two favorite fight scenes, and probably the two best fight scenes in the movie. And they're like, I guess they did say that it's not that many, but the ones they have are really dope.
Yeah.
So him and Winston Duke fight.
I think it's just they're very personal. I think they're very personal fights. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think that's why they don't seem like there's a lot of fight scenes. They're just like really personal, cool ones, but they're not extravagant, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. It was real personable, but I felt edginess to them. Like they're fighting on the edge of a waterfall, and even though you know T'Challa's not going to die or lose, or you feel like you know that, I felt like normally a lot of times you see in a fight scene, you're like, you go, oh, that's cool. But in this one, I thoroughly felt like, oh shit, T'Challa's getting his fucking face beat in. What the fuck is going
on? He was getting beat.
Yeah, it was super serious. And then it was also cool how T'Challa won, where he realizes he ain't gonna beat Winston Duke in a damn fist-to-fist fight. Winston Duke's a giant fucking dude beating his ass.
Yeah.
So he pulls out some like fucking like jujitsu and like puts him in a fucking submission hold and whatnot, and that's how he wins, which I thought was also really dope. It shows how smart T'Challa is in combat as well. He gets his ass beat by Michael B. Jordan, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But in the fact that like he knew after a couple seconds, like, okay, hold up, fuck, this ain't working. Let me try a different method. He's clearly been trained in other methods. So, which actually I guess that is one thing that didn't really have in here. They didn't really have like a Wakandan fight style, which I think was cool.
You mean like a certain fight style just for them?
Yeah. They kind of just had like they used like their own weapons, but in reality it was just normal. It was no specific fight style, which I'm kind of cool with.
Yeah.
Because, like, they tried to do some fight style things and other things recently that kind of look foolish and not realistic. So I'm kind of glad they just went with normal fight styles.
Yeah. And I liked how when he was fighting him and he even had him in submission, he told him to yield because he didn't want to kill him. Yeah. Like, he told him, like, your people need you. You're a strong leader and stuff like that. Because he had no hard feelings against the man, even though he challenged him and did, like, insult him in a sense, because he did say you want him to be your king. He couldn't even save his own father and stuff like that. And even though you said all that to him, he still didn't want to kill you, because at the end of the day, it was like you could either win the contest either by submitting or getting killed. And he had him in submission hold where he could easily just throw him over the waterfall, but he decided to like make him submit. He wanted him to submit. He told him like submit because I don't want you to die. He's like, don't make me kill you. Like he wanted you to live so you could still be with your people, because he knew that y'all was like a strong tribe and stuff like that.
Yeah, even they were so on the edge. Like T'Challa was hanging half over the waterfall when he
really was.
I think that's why, like, partially why it was so edged for me, because like even when he was getting up in my head, I was like, this Winston Duke's about to punch him off the fucking waterfall.
I thought he was gonna do that
too. Dude,
I
was like the whole time, like I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So it was fucking dope, and they get the mutual respect, and clearly Winston and his character have that respect for the throne and the traditions too.
Yeah,
which is
I think that was
separates
important.
Him from him and Michael B. Jordan.
So that's the reason that I didn't understand the thing where you said they rejected the Wakandan or the whole thing, because I felt that character in particular was very respectful of the traditions and the whole nation. He was respectful of the whole idea of Wakanda. He just didn't like T'Challa's dad's way of ruling, or he didn't like their policies. He thought they were weak.
They had been ostracized for, like, he literally says at one point that T'Challa's father, T'Chaka, and previously, but the kings before that down the family line, they haven't even been seen in centuries in like guerrilla territory.
It's crazy. Yeah, I do remember that where he said like no Wakandan king has even come here for like.
So I said, I think they're part of the Wakandans.
They definitely are,
but they just chose to live not under like direct rule. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I'm trying to think of a country that would be like technically in this country. It would be like, I guess you could say maybe something like China and North Korea or something. Yeah. Not to compare Winston Duke's tribe to North Korea, because fuck North Korea. But just in the fact that, like, technically they're like China kind of like owns them, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so they kind of backed them up. So like if someone was to come attack Winston's thing, the Wakandans would back them up, just like it would happen in real life with that situation. But they're still their own people, you know?
Yeah.
So kind of like that, you know what I'm saying?
And I always
I know what you're saying, but
it's
I
not
don't
a good analogy.
think it's a good analogy.
Yeah.
But
because,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think
I fucked up on the analogy.
that's definitely a different relationship than what you're talking about. But I think I know what you mean. I can't think of one that really makes a ton of sense either.
And I always
the
like
only
that
thing
type of character too. Like, I think it's just like the type of thing where it's like he respects the traditions, he agrees with them and stuff like that. He just didn't want T'Challa, his father, to rule. He wanted his tribe to be on.
Yeah.
And I think that's all it is. He just wants to be on throne because at the end of the day, it's like he still came down there and challenged him in a way you were supposed to challenge. It wasn't like a sense of like he was just always trying to attack. His tribe was always trying to attack the kingdom or the throne, or like that. No, they just stayed off to the side. It's like, okay, you can't find whatever. We respect the traditions and we respect the law, but we still don't want to be around you and stuff. But we still gonna let you have the throne because you won it fair and square. And I feel like that's the type of character he is. And I always like those type of characters. Doesn't really like the main character,
but
he respect what he's doing. He's gonna follow what he says because he's in charge for a certain.
Well,
reason.
see, that's why I had respect for that character because that's how I saw him. Where he was like, he believed in the system and he believed in the Wakandan nation.
Yeah,
he just thought that the current leader was weak, essentially, and he was trying to depose him in the way that they're supposed to be deposed. Like, it made a lot of sense. I didn't realize that tribe had been ostracized. Well, ostracized I had realized, but not like you're saying that they didn't even they rejected rule, which is kind of
I don't know if they rejected
weird for someone to
they're
respect traditions.
They're obviously respecting traditions still. So I don't know if they rejected rule, if they just chose not to live directly under. You know what I mean? That's why I was trying to give the China one. Like, I'm sure. Again, it's like a really shitty analogy, but I'm sure Kim Jong fuckface respects China's leaders. You know what I mean? And if China called him in to be like, again, it's not perfect, but if China called him in and be like, you need to come fucking atone for this shit real quick, or come have a meeting with us, they're gonna have that meeting. You know what I mean? They're still gonna respect him in that degree, but they're still their own thing. So it's kind of like that. Like, it's not perfect. It's a really shitty analogy, but I can't think of one. But my point is that they still live under them, and they're part of the nation of Wakanda. They're just like, we're going to be off on our own. Go fuck yourself. I mean, that's what it was. If someone, wants to tweet at me, they can tell me if it's a little more deeper than that. I don't know the specifics completely.
I feel like that's how it was. That's how it was. Like, they respected tradition. They respected the system. It's just that they didn't agree with the leader, so they decided just to stay off. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if they were actually ostracized and stuff like that, or not meant to be there, they wouldn't have allowed him to challenge him at all.
Yeah.
So they still had to be a part of Wakanda to a certain degree.
Definitely.
Yeah. Moving on from there, though, he wins. The gorilla dudes go back to their place, and he gets inaugurated as king. And then shortly thereafter, this is where we kind of move into the South Korea phase. They hear Claus is in South Korea and he's making some deal for some vibranium. And right before this is where we meet Michael B. Jordan's character and Claus. They steal some vibranium from a museum, which I actually found the scene in general pretty cool. I kind of liked how Claus killed him, and then he lets the last guy go or whatever. But he doesn't actually shoot him back. And he's like, to make us look. Well, I didn't like that part. He was like, I do that to make us look. He said unprofessional.
It makes them look like amateurs because
but then I was
they're
like,
spread out,
bro. You're coming in with a silencer and shit. You're not looking like an amateur. Period. I think he should have just been like, I just like fucking with people. That's kind of something he should have said there, maybe, or something like that. I don't know.
He had throughout the movie.
It would probably seem more in line with his character where he was just like, it was for fun. I did it for fun.
Yeah.
Because that's his character. At this point, it kind of is just him just being like, I don't know, it's a lot of fun. I like to do that.
Yeah.
I like to do bad things. It's cool.
I mean, it's nice to see Andy Serkis play something without.
Well, he still has the arm, so.
Yeah, I mean, he still has the arm, but I mean, I'm just saying, he can do some good acting too. It almost was for me, it was almost Jokerish, in, the Joker. I
can really see
yeah,
that.
Right? He's really, fucking around with people and just, it was very Jokerish for me, and I really liked that. A lot of people didn't, or some people said they didn't like his character, but for
I thought he was good, but he wasn't, I wouldn't really want him as a main villain.
Well, I agree, and that's why he's not the main villain.
Exactly.
But I like him as, that little partial villain,
He's good as, a petty villain. Yeah. He's a petty guy who just, he's very simplistic. He's just I don't know. He's just a ridiculous guy who's just living it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that.
It's the part later where they ask him about his mixtape, and he brings in an entourage, and he's like, "I'm not here to listen to your mixtape." Or he's like, "What are you trying to sell sell a mixtape or something. He's like, yeah, anybody got the SoundCloud link to give this guy? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's where I definitely saw that little Joker thing. Yeah.
But it didn't feel like he was even joking. He was literally just like, yeah, we're doing that. Like, that's how I felt about it.
I thought his character was dope.
I just thought he was like a petty guy who was just really, he was just having fun doing this stuff.
Well, it was fun. I don't know why I'd call him petty.
I would definitely call him petty. He did not care about really anything.
Well, that's not make you petty. That's not what petty is.
Yeah, yeah. It's like small-minded. Like, all he cared about were just essentially material things. And
it's hard to describe. I think he would just...
base feelings.
If anything, he was just psychopathic.
No, he's definitely a psychopath. The whole pettiness doesn't ring with me because there's a lot of easier ways to fuck around and get money. You don't like if he knows about Wakanda and he knows exactly the links they'll go for vibranium, the links they'll go to keep that shit quiet, and how much they hate him. I was just about to get into was the fact that the reason they're coming there is because he's trying to sell vibranium, and because they hate Claus because he snuck into Wakanda and blew up a bunch of people. Also, Coolio's parents, and that's why Daniel Coolio's character fucking hates Claus.
Yes.
Let's call him Rhino Guy.
Okay, Rhino Guy.
Thank you.
I mean, he might. I think he said he knows his name. I don't know what his name was.
I think it was Wakabi.
Wakabi. All right, so that's why Wakabi hates.
Yes, Rhino Guy.
That's why he hates him. So, but if he was gonna be like petty, like you were saying or whatever, like he would just steal like gold or diamonds.
I don't think so.
He's fucking with the.
He
wrong
operates
people,
on
he
his.
knows that. He knows exactly what he's getting into.
He operates on his base feelings, and one of those is that he doesn't like the Wakandan people.
Oh yeah, I mean my point exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just purely he does it because he doesn't like the Wakandan people, so he fucks with them. Well, like, he's not like trying to take the Wakandans down for the good of humanity or anything like that. He just doesn't like them. He just doesn't like them because they fucked with him and took his arm and shit like that.
I can see that. Now that you explain it like that.
Like, I think he's all about. It's, like I said,
even.
I think petty is exactly how it is because it's just like
his
most base feelings is how he operates. The most base things is what he wants. He just wants material things, and he just wants to fuck with people or fuck with Wakandans specifically. Yeah. I don't think he has anything higher goal than that. I don't think he
wants material things at all.
I think he loves having material things. You see him like ride around with an entourage in a fucking limo, like. He's flaunting his wealth for no reason other than to just flaunt his wealth.
I think he just wants to be like a Joker, like because again, like just like the stupid thing when he has vibranium and he meets him in the casino, which we're getting into next in South Korea, the illegal casino or whatever. He like doesn't package it in like a suitcase, and he makes a joke about not having a suitcase, and he just has it like in his fucking crotch, and he just like pulls that thing out for.
I'm not saying he isn't also kind of crazy and like a psychopath. I'm just saying he's a petty one. Whereas the Joker, you can kind of see where Joker is like a result of like a serious mental health issue, and he's like the opposite. He's basically becomes the anti-Batman just out, because of whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
I'll agree with you on that.
Like, you can see Joker has a lot of going on for him, I think, anyways, when it comes to how he just wants to kill the Batman, but he doesn't want to kill the Batman. He's just like playing with him. And it's all about chaos and all this stuff for him.
Exactly. And that's the thing about it.
Claus doesn't feel like he wants chaos for the sake of chaos. He feels like he's just a chaotic person. And that's why everything he does is crazy. But that's not why he's doing it. I don't know how. Maybe I can't describe it, but.
Go ahead.
Yeah, because that's all I was about to say. I was about to say, because at least with Joker's because Joker's whole motivation with Batman is just to prove that anybody can be a murderer.
Exactly.
So he's trying to like, if anything, he's trying to prove a point. Whereas just for Claus, just like, he's trying to like, if he doesn't like Wakanda, he's just trying to get even with him. So he's trying to like, sell this material.
That's what I'm saying.
Sell this material to the government. And they're gonna be like, okay, now where did all this material come from? So the next question is, where did it come from? And how do we go get more? So that's gonna put the government on Wakanda's tracks.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with y'all on that aspect, the pettiness in terms of his hatred for Wakanda, and he's fucking with Wakanda. I just don't think, like, in the regards of, like, material things. Like, yeah, he has that whole entourage, and sure, he likes to have that or whatever, but it's not for that. That's just, like, an aspect of that. That's protection. Like, that, it wasn't I don't think that whole thing was to show off. I think that was just for protection. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like he drove up in 5 Lamborghinis
He was close. He drove them in like 5
fucking SUVs.
Yeah.
It was just some black SUVs.
Yeah.
Standard edition black SUVs.
But it was some big SUVs on that little tiny little road.
Big ass SUV, like jet black SUVs. Like you see that? You see someone
color R bad guy movies.
You see anybody drive up with that? That guy's baller. He's got a ton of money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There ain't nobody who's doing that.
I disagree with you
I
on
think
that.
he does like the flaunt though. He does like.
I think
the
it's
flaunt.
all about flat. I think you put it right. Where Joker is all about like trying to prove a point, and he's all about trying to prove that the world is chaos,
Exactly.
and he's just accept it. Anything can happen. Anyone can be anything. And I don't think this guy has any prior thought other than just like he doesn't like Wakandans, and he likes to show off his wealth and get rich and stuff. I think he's like a petty theft. I don't dislike that though. I think that's great because I think those people exist.
Yeah.
And Klaus is a great campy guy who exists for that reason.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving into it, they're meeting at
Klaus. I called him Klaus.
Yeah, whatever.
Sorry.
And he's like, we're moving at the casino in South Korea where the transition's going down. It turns out, T'Challa shows up with his entourage, which is Michonne, T'Challa, and Lapita. And so they show up, and then when they get there, look who's there. He was introduced in Winter Soldier. It's I don't remember his name, but the Hobbit.
Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
Martin Freeman. Yeah.
I don't actually remember his name. Agent.
Agent, whatever. He was kind of he was for me very memorable in the movie.
Yeah.
But not his name. Like
Nobody's
I
name
liked
was
his
really
role in the movie.
memorable to me.
Yeah. They weren't like on the camera all the time.
It was weird.
I'm just
how-
really shitty with names. But either way, he's there. He's the buyer, and he's representing the U.S. government, I guess, and buying
Yeah.
it. But he's really trying to catch Claus as well, because and everyone hates him. And then Claus or Klaus, whatever his name is, shows up, and action ensues. There's another action scene, which this one was super dope in my opinion. I really like this one. We first start off where. I love the way we have Michonne, who, the royal soldiers or whatever, they're all bald, but she's wearing a wig to fit in.
Yeah.
And so she gets made, pretty close to right off the bat I don't even know why. It doesn't explain it, which I guess doesn't need to be explained, but she's made or whatever. Dude's like trying to get her. I think she just wants to fight anyway. She's like, fuck it. She takes her wig, throws it in homeboy's face, and just starts fucking whipping ass. I don't know where the fuck she pulled that spear out from, but that bitch came out of somewhere.
There was some piece of jewelry she had that just turns into a spear.
Yeah.
Probably so.
Which, vibranium. They use that for everything in this movie.
And he probably made her because she was speaking to him she was speaking to T'Challa or his ex-girlfriend. She was speaking to one of them. I think she was speaking to him through the earpiece.
Yeah.
Or they had, and she was speaking in Wakandan. And I think the bodyguard probably recognized that, if anything.
True.
Oh, maybe you're right.
So it gets found out, it starts the fight scene, and this is where I fell in love with Michonne. Right here, or at least the tendency to follow him. Oh my god, she fucking...
Her fight scenes were amazing.
So good, and specifically the one moment was she starts fighting, she throws the wig, which was awesome, that was hilarious. She's kicking ass with her spear and shit, and then she kicks a dude over the balcony, and then there's an anime dive after him or some shit. She jumps off the thing. She's wearing a red dress and it floats. She looks like a rose flying through the air with her spear.
The graphics on that imagery right there were amazing, man.
Yeah.
How she came down, it was just so clean and cut nicely, man.
Yeah, which is really good because are other pieces in here that I didn't like in terms of directorial shots.
Yeah.
And this one though was fucking fantastic. Later when almost every time you see them in Wakanda, it's they're on the same fucking street. It's the same thing. It's super close up. So I don't know if there's a budget issue there or something, but it seemed like they'll show Wakanda from a big picture. It looks really dope. But then when they zoom in, it's just really up in their face and close.
Yeah, they don't do medium level shots where you see some of the environment and the people.
So I kind of had an issue with that. But in this scene, the camera work was dope. The view, the artistic view, when she's jumping, she looks like a fucking rose with a spear.
Yeah, it looked like cameraman was on the line with her, and they just jumped at the same time.
It was super dope.
Exactly.
I literally was like, I think I'm in love. I was like, Michonne was so dope. She starts kicking ass. T'Challa, he ain't doing shit. At this point, he's gambling. He's like, I'm on a roll. So
he doesn't seem like he's as good as a fighter as almost any of the other Wakandans.
Well,
It's
I mean, he's
weird.
been trained to be a a fighter, but also like a
prince
king
is more of
and all
anything.
this,
A prince.
Whereas someone like Michonne is almost
just
completely
trained.
just a
Well,
warrior.
Michonne is just straight up the most badass warrior. I mean, I think they even say it. I think they're even like, "You're the
out of
Yeah, she's the general.
Out of the
She's
Royal Guard, she definitely
Yeah,
is.
she's the general of the whole
like
army.
in Wakanda, though. I think is what they say. I think
Yeah,
they're
that-
literally
that's-
just
Well,
like,
that's what I mean.
she's
I mean,
the best.
out of the Royal Guards, they're the best in general.
That's
Like,
why her-
she's the best out of them.
Exactly. That's why her sense was just. That's why her loyalty for the throne was so strong. To a later scene when they was asking her to like, but
Respect.
but she was like, no, I serve whoever sits in the chair, and I love that.
Some people
scene.
didn't like that. That made complete sense for
Exactly.
her character.
I think it
that's
made
her
sense.
whole identity.
Yeah. Exactly.
Is, this Royal Guard. Like she's gonna stay, and obviously at a point she realizes like, all right, at the end when Michael was just like, you're just fucking evil, bro. All right, I have to digress now. But
Well, plus
Yeah,
she has the excuse she needs to do that because fucking
because
T'Challa's
he's
not
breaking
dead.
because T'Challa's not dead.
They
So
thought
technically,
T'Challa's
Michael
dead.
B. Jordan isn't king.
But and it's also at the same yes, that's true. But at the same time, it's like you can see her still serving someone like that because she can like still agree. She probably at the end of the day still agree to what he's saying to some degree. Maybe not completely, but she's like, if you can understand where the person is coming from, that can be enough for you to follow them. You get what I'm saying?
Oh hell yeah! And
He wasn't completely mad. It's
her
like,
loyalty to Wakanda was awesome.
Yeah.
And just to get into it even more, like we'll just kind of talk about Michonne for a second or two. As we go through it, like you see that, her fight scene there, she's fucking dope. She's awesome. Her banter with T'Challa is awesome. Then we just talked about her not leaving and she's going to stay with the throne, which again makes super dope sense to me. And then even at the end when she...
when she was going against her husband.
Yeah, So,
Yeah, I thought
so
that's
her
what it
husband or her love interest is the Rhino dude, and like, so he's fucked up. We'll get into him in a second, but fuck him. But she's like literally about to fight him, and he's like, "Are you gonna kill me?" And she's like, "For Wakanda, I will fuck you up. Like
Yeah.
you are done. I'll kill you in a heartbeat." And that was another one of my favorite scenes in the movie, man, or at least for her, like. She just stays true to her motivation. It's all about her and protecting the throne and Wakanda.
Yeah.
And like, she's not gonna let even the love of her life or whatever, if it's the love, whatever. They're together. I don't know. Who knows how serious it is? Because they don't
They don't get. I think they're a husband and wife because when him and T'Challa was talking together at the little Rhino farm, and they both like pulled her up on a little like watch hologram.
Yeah.
She's like my love. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that. I mean,
I would say that on the third date. You know,
I feel like they were. I feel like they were husband and wife because the way they were just saying my love. I feel like that's something that you would really say as husband and wife all the time.
But but I love how she was just like, I mean, for Wakanda, I'll kill you, man. Like no, there was no hesitation or nothing.
Bro, if you kill your husband, god damn, you ain't no limit you'll go to.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's why for me, Michonne was probably my favorite character. Definitely in the top three for the movie. So. Back to the fight scene. So we get to her, like I said, T'Challa, he's gambling or something. He ain't even taking part at this point. He's just doing this thing. Like, I just remember seeing him like, when she first kicked the dude through the fence or through the thing, he falls down and it's like a close up on T'Challa, and then you just see the body fall in the background or whatever, and T'Challa's just like. He's just sitting at like a craps table and just like looks over his shoulder like, oh shit, are we fighting right now? He's doing his thing. Peeta, she starts fighting and whatnot. Everybody starts fighting and shit. And then they have this really cool chase scene. It's really CGI, but whatever. Through South Korea.
Yeah.
It was fucking dope, man. And specifically back to Michonne, man. They
Yeah,
get the
that was
car
one of my-
blown up by this dude, by Klaus's arm. And I think you're going to say what I was going to say, so I'll let you say it.
One of my favorite scenes with Michonne was, now I'm calling her Michonne, is when she throws the spear through a van onto the ground, and then the car runs into the spear.
Exactly.
I was like, but I just love that because she gets on top of the car, and I'm like, what the fuck is she about to do? You know what I mean?
She's so good, right?
And that was one of my favorite scenes because it's like even in some action movies when you see when you see one of the characters do something like that, you always see that kind of like fear in their eyes from doing it.
Yeah.
Because it's still like a really scary situation.
She
had no fear in her eyes. Like the car was literally being shot at by bullets, and she got on top of the roof and chucked the spear like it was a fucking football.
I know, man.
Right through the window, it hits the front.
She gave no
fast car.
See, with me using logic, I'm thinking they're going to run over the spear, but the spear stops them completely
yeah.
in their tracks.
See, that's what I was like, what is he doing?
Yeah, it was dope. And then the scene I was going to get to, that scene, and then Klaus gets a good shot off with his fucking hand cannon vibranium arm. And blows up their car.
The mining device, which is crazy. Why not use it as a weapon? But anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they do in their spears, actually.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I think they do.
But yeah, blows up the car, and then she's flying through the fucking air. And I love how it shows like how much that spear though is like a part of her. Because like she's reaching. That's where you see a little bit of fear in her eyes. Like you see just a tad bit where she's like, "Oh shit, I have to get my spear, or I'm gonna be hurt from this fall."
Yeah.
But bro, once she gets that spear, man, she's like, she hits it through a fucking piece of metal and skis on that bitch. Like I've been skiing the slopes of Everest. Don't come at me.
And the other girl just still holding the steering wheel.
Which definitely would not happen.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
I was thinking that she was dead, and they're just going and it's gonna make some more motivation for T'Challa or some anger. But when I saw her come down there, I was like, oh, okay.
That was the most unbelievable, most ridiculous part, right? I, I could sustain my belief for a lot of things.
I'll say that's the second most.
Okay.
The first, we could go ahead and get into goddamn rhinos at the end. That was one of my least favorite parts about the movie.
That was unbelievable. I just think it was ridiculous.
What do you mean unbelievable? They literally came out of nowhere under the ground. Did they dig there underground?
Maybe they were cloaked.
But they even showed them just coming out of like under the plane that just crashed. And then on top of that, what is vibranium controlling their fuking minds?
He just trained them really well.
I think what made it so funny was that when T'Challa saw him do what he was about to do, he was like, "No!" Like it was like it's
don't call the rhino.
like it was gonna be serious.
The fucking rhinos come like that was one part of this movie where I was like, "All right, you fucked up with that."
It's just ridiculous. Like I like the whole traditional stuff with futuristic stuff. That was like the step too far when they were just like,
that was the step too
rhinos
far.
With armor, let's do it.
Unless you told us at the beginning with Daniel Coolio that the dude could like speak to fucking rhinos like in his mind or something.
Yeah.
He's like, check out this translator I got. It talks to rhinos.
Yeah, unless it was something like you kind of showcased at the beginning with that. Like, it just comes out of nowhere.
Exactly.
The rhinos don't make sense. They're just running people. Rhinos with vibranium armor on.
Yeah, if T'Challa would made it clear that I'm the Black Panther and he's the White Rhino, it could have made us all better. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not mad at him like being able to trade rhinos. It's just funny as hell to me that he's using them as a weapon.
Yeah,
it just
that's what I'm saying. And then the fact that they just literally came out of nowhere. I don't know if they're mole digging rhinos or something, but they literally came from under the plane. So. That was creepy as hell and didn't make sense. But like, cause like other things, like when they use what we were talking about earlier, they're like, their shawls as like a shield and it makes like a force field. Right. That was really cool. That kind of cool. Technology mixed with tradition is really cool. The rhino thing was too fucking far.
They were just coming through bulldozing people too, man. It was just so fun.
That took like a half a point off for me right there. That's why I'll probably give this a 9 out of 10.
That character,
I'll take a half a point off for that, and I'll take a half a point off for the character in general.
That character was problematic for me because, like we were talking about earlier, he's introduced as sort of like, me and T'Challa, we've been friends forever. The person who's your bodyguard is the love of my life. Let's do it. We're all friends. And then, like, on a pin drop, that dude changes sides. I mean, he's literally like, catch Klaus for me. He's like, you got it. I'm going to catch Claws. Whatever I'm saying, I don't know. He's like, catch him. And then T'Challa comes back. He's like, he slipped away. And he's like, he slipped away? And then the guy who's responsible for him getting away shows up with the dead Claws and is like, oh yeah, I'll give my loyalty to you, stranger. Yeah, even though you're gonna go against and try and kill who seems to be his best friend. It's crazy. Like
I agree with that. I agree.
Extremely lacking.
I agree with that. I wish for anything it would have been like something like he was still like just mad at T'Challa for not bringing him back. He would have did something like really simple, but it would have turned out in a bad way. You know what I'm saying? And then it could have like been like, okay, he just was really angry and he just did something like really simple and stupid just to get a little revenge, but then turned into something big. Yeah, and that could have been like more understandable than just for him to just go like full traitor. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was thinking really what they should have just done is have the guy who was the sort of traitor would be the ape guy, because the ape guy wanted to take over anyways. But
that's his name, by the way.
Yeah, and he respected tradition, so he wasn't going to take over. but then all of a sudden this guy who has royal blood in him should have the chance to take over. Like, traditional, like that works within the legal system, essentially. So it felt like it was, if Killmonger would have went to the ape guy first, I think the ape guy would have been like, yeah, let's do it. I'm definitely here for you.
I don't know. Because their personalities. Like, I feel like they would have clashed.
They liked it. They had a very similar idea of what to do. I mean, sort of, the ape guy wanted to conquer, essentially, and then the Killmonger just wanted genocide. But
again, I think the ape dude really just wanted to be on top. You know what I mean? So, like, he can't, like, I see what you're saying with that.
I remember him saying.
But, well, I mean, you might be right in that regard, but what I'm saying is that's like two alphas in the same space. Like, they're not going to get along. They're going to kill each other.
Exactly, because you saw Killmonger was just like dropping them like flies when he was like about to go to Wakanda. You know, when he betrayed Claw.
I think it has to do with how you look at the ape guy. Because I look at him as a guy who he doesn't respect what T'Challa's decisions, or his dad really is really what I'm talking about. But essentially, he doesn't respect how they're leading and ruling, right?
Yeah.
Like talking to people, two people looking at their phones, like, oh, I'll wait. I'll wait.
He respects the traditions and the system. He just doesn't like that they're the ones ruling.
That's what I'm saying. So it makes sense to me that if a guy came along who had the same ideas as him, he would support that guy. Alpha or not, like, it doesn't matter. It's ideals. That guy is about the ideals. He doesn't want to rule for the sake of ruling, I don't think.
No.
He was willing to die for, like, his ideals.
Either way.
True.
We can agree that Daniel Kaluuya's character is a fucking bitch.
I think you mean... Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah.
It might be David. I don't know what it is. Kaluuya is his last name.
I thought you were talking about Ryan Coogler, and I was like...
No. He did a fantastic job, though. Fuck. The director, for the most part, did a really, really fantastic job. Like I said, there was those few scenes where, again, I don't know if like they ran out of budget or whatever, CGI, but they were like super close-up shots. They only showed like the same fucking street in Wakanda like over and over again. Like every time they went back to Wakanda, it's like, all right, we're on the same street in Wakanda. But for the most part, it was really, really well done shot-wise and whatnot. Let's talk about Winston Duke's character, M'Baku, which we're kind of already...
Did. Yeah.
Which we're on. But I just want to say, for me... He's probably my second favorite character in the show, as I was kind of saying at the first bit of this. He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And not only is he, but again, he's another one of those where I see where he's coming from. Like you're over there trying to twist maybe his motivation, maybe not, whatever. It's besides, it's not twist, whatever. But my point is, you see his loyalties are to his tribe and to Wakanda as a whole. You know what I mean? Like, even if what you're saying is true, it's still about Wakanda and respect. So, like, when T'Challa gets his ass beat by Killmonger in that tribal fight scene or whatever, you know, he gets taken up there. And instead, like, dude could have just been like, you know, I don't like you anyways, bitch. And just finished off T'Challa. But instead, he, like, picks him. He's like, you know, I owe you a debt. You saved my life by not killing me in the challenge. You know, respect. Exactly. And that's something I really like with characters who have that kind of moral ground. And he shows it here. And then on top of that, he's fucking hilarious. Anytime, like, he comes on the scene, he kind of, like, steals the show. And a lot of characters do it. Killmonger steals the show when he comes on the scene. Michonne steals the show. Say all of them. They steal the show, steal the scene. And he's the same way, man. He's hilarious. He's just, they're, like, talking, and he's like, oh, you all done yet?
Yeah.
Stupid shit. But,
yeah, if you think about it, he actually saved his life twice in that moment. For the simple fact, like, he saved him by putting him in the ice and stuff. And they were about to take him out. His mom and his sister, they were about to take him out the ice and trying to take him back to the lab. He was like, all right, you can do that if you want to, but he ain't going to do nothing but die on you on the way back there. So, see, they were going to end up killing him, too. They was going to still end up killing him if he didn't say nothing to them.
Yeah. I really, really like the character. And then they did kind of do this whole, you know, T'Challa's like, we need your army. And he's like, no, I'm not bringing the army. And I was like, at the time I was like, all right, that's cool, I guess. But then I was like, come on now. We know you're bringing that damn army. We seen the trailer. We see you in the trailer.
Exactly.
At this fight. So I was like, what the fuck? Just say, yeah, all right, I'm coming, but I'm going to come a little delayed.
Yeah.
Like, so that part kind of annoyed me a little bit because just like I said, you see it in the trailer, him at the fight scene. So I'm like, you're just playing games with us. Right. But obviously that's not the character's fault. He was fucking dope.
Yeah.
M'Baku, I like his name. I like him.
It's got a cool name. I think I got it. Here's how I would have had the series of events go down. Killmonger goes to Ape Guy Ape guy is like, we're alike, or we have similar views. You're like a strong leader that can challenge T'Challa. Goes with them, and then after that happens, realizes that unlike him, like his loyalties are to Wakanda as a whole. Like he wants to go out and not maybe be a conqueror, but be like a strong nation essentially. And so his loyalties lie with Wakanda. He comes to realize that Killmonger has no loyalties with Wakanda at all. He just almost wants like to just destroy societies and shit like that. Yeah. And so once he realizes that, then he joins T'Challa again. And he betrays Killmonger at the end.
Yeah, I can
because I think that storyline would have made a lot more sense in my mind, and that character would have still been the same character, I think. But because the only character that really just does not add up to me is fucking the guy who betrays T'Challa. But I think if they would have had to go that way, it would have made a lot more sense.
Yeah,
I will say this: I agree with you wholeheartedly on that guy's characters, but it does give you someone to hate. Even more than damn Killmonger, and that's one of the things with this movie is like it's hard to hate Killmonger. You know, like his motivations are
reasonable.
Like,
I tell you what, though, I agree with you that Killmonger is one of those guys that you're like you see where he's coming from and you can understand him, and I think that's what makes him one of the. We've talked about this like who are the best Marvel villains.
Pretty much him and
it's
Loki.
Like, yeah, it's hard. There's not like a lot of ones that are more than just a one-dimensional bad guy.
Yeah,
and he's one of the top dudes. But at the same time, a lot of people, I saw some things where people were like, you know, I didn't care about T'Challa at all. I wanted Killmonger to win. And I was like, what? He wanted genocide.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. You can get behind his reasons, but you got to understand, like, he's promoting genocide, by the way. You can't fall, if you're falling completely for him, you know, you're also in the wrong. You know
I thought it was crazy how people were like, I kind of wanted him to win over T'Challa. I was like, T'Challa at the end grows and becomes the guy who reaches out and tries to help people, but without the genocidal aspect. He does the right thing, like 100%. How can you disagree with that? Yeah. It's crazy.
Well, I was like, the type of guys Killmonger is, the type of guy Killmonger is as a bad guy is like, it's always the best bad guys. Guys you can understand to a certain degree. You can kind of see yourself following them, but
you see where he's coming from.
Yeah, you see where he come from, but when he does things, it's just like it's too much.
Yeah. He doesn't care about. I saw something before that's like
he's a psychopath.
He doesn't care about what comes after. I saw someone talk about that, like the whole scene with him burning the fruits and then like how he plans about going about this stuff. He doesn't care about what happens after. He's just about like
now.
Right.
He's a psychopath, bro. He's all about just killing. And again, you see where he's coming from. Now's a good time, I guess, get into Killmonger because obviously he's a very pivotal role in this movie. Michael B. Jordan does a fantastic job, but you see where he's coming from. But he just takes it way like T'Challa, like you were just saying, man. Like he does by the end of it, his character growth in this movie is essentially to realize that Michael B. Jordan is right. He's just going about it the wrong way.
That's like the main theme of this is that essentially the whole real underlying theme is what should Wakanda do or with their power because like his father wanted to have Wakanda be isolationist, right? Then his girlfriend wants Wakanda to have a reach out program essentially. And help people, and then Killmonger comes in wanted to like just use their power to kill stuff, and then you have the ape guy who wants to use the power to become the most powerful nation. Everybody has a different opinion about what to do, and T'Challa is just stuck in the middle at the beginning. I mean, he doesn't know what he should do. Yeah. And then by the end, he sort of decides and rolls with like essentially his girlfriend's idea, which is I think clearly the right one. But
yeah.
It is scary though, this, like you said, to see comments where they're like, "Oh, I'm
it was just crazy." Like, okay. It was not even like comments; it's like articles. Like people are writing articles. God damn.
Well, it's like what I'm saying. Like the people write, you know, the Bill Burr joke where it's like everybody should have a chloroform rag on them for when they see the crazy. He talks about Hitler. He's like everyone sees those Hitler. He's like if someone would have been there on the subway when Hitler's. I, and they're just like, oh, he's crazy. The guy behind him, it's his responsibility to take that chloroform rag, knock him out, take him out.
Take him out, yeah.
And it was like, it's funny. I was like, while reading some of those articles where they were saying that, I was thinking of that joke being like, now who's the guy with the chloroform rag behind that person writing that article that takes him out and like realizes like, okay, this person might be a little dangerous. He's over here advocating genocide. Yeah. And you're being, oh yeah, you know, genocide sounds like a good idea. I hope, you know, people take the whole picture, you know.
Yeah, look at the whole movie.
Yeah. We're all,
One thing that's cool.
It's hard to talk about it because it's such a movement kind of thing, but yeah. I'll let someone else talk on that. But it's a great movie.
One thing that's pretty cool, I don't know if they really stuck to this as much as I wanted to. I can't really remember. We only saw it the one time, and I was pretty tired. But I think the soundtrack, specifically, they're like, when it's sort of Wakanda stuff or T'Challa stuff, it's like that African music fused with that sort of like
hip hop.
Well, no, before they get to the hip hop, it's like African music fused with like more traditional Marvel type soundtracks. You know what I mean? And that's when it's doing like Wakanda and stuff like that. And then when Killmonger comes in, that's when they bring in the hip hop.
Yeah.
And I love that. It was so cool to have like when Killmonger's on screen, you're gonna have that like standard hip hop like trap beat or some shit in the background. He's just rolling. It was. I love it when people use the soundtrack to that effect.
Exactly.
Agreed.
And I definitely noticed a few times where they did that, where Killmonger's like walking in the throne room and it's like playing a hip hop beat.
Exactly.
God, that's that scene we talked about.
Exactly. I really like that scene.
Go ahead, man.
Like his whole demeanor, it was just crazy. Like you could tell he was just somebody from the hood. I mean, but just look at his man. Like you could just tell he was like somebody from the hood and meeting like a true African. You know what I'm saying? Because like he was like, what are you doing here? And he was like, oh, y'all living good in here. This is what I want. It's like, excuse me, what? What do you mean? Because they looking at him like, hey, this boy got to be foolish. Like they was like saying throw him in prison. And then when he asked him who he was, and the other dude asked him who he was, and he told him who he was, it's like, this boy has a right to be here, if anything. And I was like,
that scene was fucking great. Y'all living good up here.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
I was about to be mine. They were like, what? And it was for a little bit, man. When they do the travel fight scene with him and T'Challa, man, like that we were talking about, like we were saying earlier, T'Challa, man, he's got skills as a fighter, obviously. He's been trained a lot. But he's also had a lot of other training about being intelligent, and supposedly he's actually really intelligent, by the way, in the comics. I mean, like, but also being
dude, that's like every
poised. That's true.
They're always like, and he's the best detective except for Batman, and they always do that.
And if anything, he was supposed to be raised up more to be a prince than a fighter. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But then you got
Killmonger,
who's like we've already said he's a psychopath, sociopath, but he's also a fucking murderer, like a kill, like he's full-fledged, like he's
straight warrior, man.
Yeah, like he easily is a better fighter than T'Challa.
Which is why I'm glad that
T'Challa doesn't really win, even when he wins at the end, like he just gets him with a trick move, essentially. Like he was getting his fucking ass beat there too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He had to use his smarts essentially and be like, all right, I know this technology, I know the tracks we have down here and how those theoretically work. I'm gonna jump down there and try and do this and essentially have to trick into winning. Killmonger was a fucking badass. Man, he had all them damn bumps or whatever on him and shit.
That was crazy.
They were all over, but he didn't kill like hundreds of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a super dope villain. I really liked him as a villain.
I did too.
Just remember, he's a villain.
Yeah.
T'Challa's a good guy, goddammit. Obviously, that was super dope. Anybody want to talk about that final scene in there, other than the goddamn rhinos?
Which final scene? The part where he brings him to the sunset?
Well, yeah, we can talk about that too, actually. But I did want to mention one thing. I don't know if this has been happening in other movies. I mentioned this to Jared the other day, man. What is with the lack of blood?
Oh, right. You did say something about that. It tripped
me out. Like, specifically the scene where the warrior chick gets Michael B. Jordan slits her neck.
Yeah.
And they don't, cut away. Like, they could have did a really good job. That's one of the other cut scenes where I was like, oh, you kind of fucked up there. Because you could have, did a cutaway, to show the Naya's face. And then jump back or whatever, but they show the full slitting of the throat.
Yeah,
and I understand it's PG-13, but you could show a little bit, and so I understand it's PG-13 trying to get kids, but you could show a little bit. And they slit the throat, that's a fucking artery and some shit. That's going to spray, yo. And so they slit it, and there's no blood at all. Not even on the ground, period, not on the blade, nothing.
That one might have been, and every time they they do a lot of those. They do a lot of those where he cuts the back of his leg moves or anything.
Yeah, it never shows anything.
You'll never see any blood or anything.
But that's
and I'm not mad about not seeing the blood. I'm mostly just. I will admit that one particular scene where I noticed it, and I think you're right. I think they just didn't play the camera right because, if it is a PG-13 movie, don't show someone getting their throat slit. I'm okay with that. You don't have to do that. You can work around that and show the reactions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If somebody goes like this and then you cut away we know what just happened.
Play the sound, you hear it, you know.
Yeah.
That, and then also, it's kind of along the same thing, even with Michael B. Jordan, he does get stabbed, you know, there's like no blood on the knife, there's no blood on his face. They take him up to the sunrise, which was a really cool moment. He's like, you know, because he had these flashbacks with his father, which, by the way, the guy who played his father did a fantastic job as well. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'll take you to see a Wakandan sunset or whatever. It's the most beautiful sunset in the world. Shows him sunset. But again, I remember distinctly noticing there too, Michael B. Jordan at that point doesn't look like he's a dying man. Like, he doesn't look like he has a knife in his fucking side. He's just like he's not sweating at all or anything. Like, I think it kind of messed up a little bit there. Yeah. Like,
to be fair, I did tell you this after you told me that, which was, to be fair, he was savable. I think it was clear. It was clear that he was like, you know, we could get you some medical attention. Like, you're gonna die, but
Hobbit
only
took
if
a
we
bullet
don't.
in the back, and they saved him with a bead. You know, they could save him too. He just got a knife wound.
I mean, by his heart, but
yeah, I guess so. But either way, I mean, they could have saved him. But my point isn't that they could save him. My point is that it's not even the blood there. It's like, because at that point I hadn't even thought of the blood until I thought back on the neck thing. But it was just the fact that he just looked so fresh at that point. Like, he, I mean, as in, like, he
looks so fresh and so clean.
yeah, I mean, but just like, he don't look like somebody who just was in a goddamn fight scene for a half an hour and also got stabbed in the chest/heart and is about to die. And he just like looked like he just like got out of the shower, dried up, got everything done, and then he's just like looking off into the sunset in the early morning or something. Like, you know what I mean? He don't look like somebody who's about to fucking die. Is all I'm saying.
I don't remember it.
But he was comfortable. But if anything, he probably was just comfortable with his death already.
I mean, those are like nitpicky things.
He definitely was. I mean, that was a pretty powerful thing, I think, for a lot of people when he was like, you know, we could get you medical help, and he's like, nah, fuck that, you know. Or what was it like? My ancestors had it right when they jumped off the boat. Or bury me in the ocean. That's what it was, right? Bury me in the oceans with my ancestors who jumped off the boat because death is better than bondage.
Yeah,
that's that was pretty powerful.
And at first, I mean, Jared talked was I didn't get it because I was like, "You're from Wakanda."
What do you mean?
I was like, "Your ancestors weren't on them boats. What do you mean?"
Like,
but then he explained, "Well, I guess his mom, you know, obviously was."
And he definitely sees himself
African,
as a.
So I was like, "Okay, I guess that makes sense." But at first, I was like I was like, "Man, that's powerful." But then I was like, "What? Wait, you're from Wakanda? You weren't on the boat?" But, you know, it was a really powerful scene, and it's fucking dope.
And you know, like, props to Killmonger for, again, being, like, probably the best Marvel villain. I really don't know who I would put over him.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anyone out there. I mean, the rest of them are very, a-dimensional, you know, like, or one-sided.
A lot of people like to say Loki, and I think Loki
is a good one.
He's
the second, probably, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anybody who I was like, that was the best villain. You know, pretty much, honestly, since Heath Ledger's Joker, I've just been like, you know, whatever.
Yeah, we don't talk about villains overall. Heath Ledger's Joker still got it. That dude was insane. It was so awesome. But I think I put Killmonger first in Marvel and probably second overall, to be honest, for comic
book heroes movies.
Because maybe Ra's al Ghul, but not really. Even him, like Killmonger, I think is still better than him.
Yeah, I think so. Ra's al Ghul was cool, but still.
Anything else to say about the movie? I'm trying to think. There's some.
I know we really skipped from like the casino scene all the way to the end and just started talking about stuff, which I guess is fine.
I mean, it's fine. People should have seen the movie at this point, so we're just talking about shit that bothered us or we really liked, you know.
Yeah.
I will say the last fight scene, I thought they should have did it differently. What they have happen is like fucking Rhino guy. Killmonger's like, hey, Rhino guy, kill that guy. Kill your best friend. And he's like, okay, I'll do that. And then all the people who are behind that whole fight turn on Killmonger. And so there's two separate battles going on, essentially.
Yeah.
What I really thought should have happened was T'Challa, who is like baller as fuck right now, and Killmonger, who's baller as fuck, should probably just have sort of ended up fighting like immediately.
Right off the rip.
Yeah. Or if anything, maybe he would have told the Rhino guy to kill him. Rhino guy goes after him, but T'Challa just sort of like knocks him away. And then, you know, maybe they keep getting in his way, but he's like, you're not going to stop me. I'm fucking the Black Panther. I eat the fruit. Like, get out of my way.
I eat the fruit. I got the suit. Let's go.
Exactly.
I eat the fruit. Got the suit.
I think you should have just marched straight through him.
Yeah. Another little quick thing that I really, 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 really loved was again, Winston here in this scene, but when Winston and his tribe do show up,
oh yeah,
oh my God, bro, he like picked that man up with one arm.
He picked up a full grown man,
one arm, and then just slings him to the side. I was like, God damn, what is he eating? Did they got fruit up there too?
Exactly. He got some of the Black Panther fruit.
He took a little bit. He's like, when they left, she mixed it up, poured it up to heal T'Challa, man.
He took what was left,
exactly.
made a shake out of it.
Exactly. Took what was left in the bowl, put his finger in there, just licked it.
Yeah, that was dope as shit.
That was
the
crazy.
scene you see from the trailer too.
Exactly.
That was awesome. Yeah, the movie's fantastic, man. Like I said, go see that movie. Kind of want to get into a little bit about the future for Black Panther, and so we'll talk about the extra credit scenes or whatever, and upcoming his role in
Avengers.
What y'all think on that?
Yeah.
I guess. So first off, we see Bucky again.
Oh, in the after credit scenes, right?
Yeah. So the first after credit scene was when they go back to the
they go back to Compton.
Compton, yeah. And he
they
buys all the buildings around where where
his
Killmonger
uncle was
grew
dead,
up and whatnot.
killed.
And he's starting like the first Wakandan like national outreach center, and so it was dope. Like I said, he's trying to get out there and actually help the world with Wakanda's power. I love the scene right before that where he's at the UN and he's like, all right, we're gonna come out. We're going to help you guys. And the one dude from the UN's like, how are you going to help us? Like some farmers. And then him and Martin Freeman's character just look at each other. I really wish they wouldn't have cut right there with them looking at each other. I wish they would have went one step further and been like, he just like hit his suit on, man, and just pulled a Tony Stark. It was just like, boom. I'm a Black Panther, baby.
I was thinking about it.
It's like I'm the Black Panther.
I feel like
I Tony Stark down. I'm the Iron Man.
Yeah,
I feel like he should have just been like, we'll see what the few farmers can do. You know what I mean? Like, just like punk them. Just be like, yeah, we'll fucking see.
Yeah. So that was dope. And as for moving forward with the Avengers, I actually think so. That obviously in this next Avengers movie, we're expecting to see some deaths. I think Black Panther might become the new Captain America for the Avengers. So because they're moving into Phase 4 now, as we were kind of talking about before, and so they're going to shift some out probably, or maybe they'll be around. So maybe he'll be Iron Man now. He'll be like the new, quote unquote Iron Man.
That would make sense, actually.
So I think he's gonna be, because he's a king, so like he's gonna be a leading role. You know what I mean? Like he's not gonna come in and be subordinate to nobody else.
Yeah.
So like he's gonna come in. I think he's gonna be like the new like Captain America or Iron Man of the team. Like especially with Shuri at his back.
If we have
technology wise,
Bucky as the new Captain America, and then him as the new
Iron Man,
essentially,
quote unquote. Yeah, agreed.
Which makes a lot of sense.
Gets into the next scene, and we'll get into my theory. But yeah, so in the next after credit scene, we see Bucky's alive. He's out of cryo. He's clearly gotten better. Shuri's been helping him, with quote unquote vibranium, which also we didn't really talk about. But goddamn, if they don't use vibranium for everything in this movie, man,
that's the key.
Exactly.
It's like vibranium can heal your wounds and
because
you can do everything.
Like the metal itself already has so many properties to it.
Yeah, I think what they're gonna do to explain that too, also on the Avengers thing, is I think the Soul Stone might be what helped make vibranium or something. So I think the Soul Stone's at the bottom of the meteorite mine shaft.
That's interesting.
I think that's why he'll show up at Wakanda in the next movie, Bruce Willis.
Right.
What are you talking about, Bruce Willis?
Blue Joss Whedon. That's it.
Yeah, I couldn't think of his name. But Thanos, I think that's why he'll show up there. And
I hope
that
Thanos
might
is
actually
awesome.
explain why they have so many of those crazy properties besides just being really. Because normally you think of vibranium, it's like it's really strong and I'm sure you can do crazy things with it. But they do kind of go a little over the top in this movie with like just explaining things away with vibranium. Like, oh yeah, that's because of vibranium. Oh, that's because of vibranium.
Yeah.
Like you act like you got the wand from Bright or something in your back
pocket.
It's
cool. I like the idea that it's not just a really strong thing. It also you can do it. It's like the miracle material, the miracle metal.
Anyways, back to the after credit scene. Sorry.
Yeah.
After credit scene, Bucky's here. He's back, and they're just looking. Bucky's all looking fresh, missing an arm, but fresh. And he's like, I'm better. And him and Shuri are talking. And you got the little dudes with the face paint on, and they're like, and they run off, and they're like, White Wolf, White Wolf. And so from the comics, I found out after watching some videos, White Wolf was a white dude who was adopted by T'Challa's father, and raised essentially as brothers with T'Challa. And they call it, obviously T'Challa is the Black Panther, and he grows up as like the White Wolf. And he like runs their like military department or something like that. So obviously with the kids saying that, probably they're gonna combine the two characters and make Bucky, because you don't want to call him. I saw someone else saying this as well, and he's like, you don't want to call him the Winter Soldier anymore because he's not the bad dude anymore, and he's healed.
Right.
Sure, he's healed him. So now his new name is gonna be the White Wolf. With Captain America being done, he might not become Captain America. Actually, he might just take a role up in Black Panther's episode 2.
Yeah, when I said he became the new, whenever I said that he would become the new Captain America, what I really meant was he would take over that role.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like there might not be like I'm saying I agree with you on that as well. But I'm saying his role might be essentially Black Panther's like sidekick or brother in arms or whatever.
Yeah.
In the next Black Panther movie and then in the Avengers, because obviously we see him with the new arm in the Avengers in the trailer. So that's where I think he's gonna be. And then my other little point to this scene is no one sees this. Ain't nobody said shit about this yet. This is fully my theory, and I don't think it's right. And as we said earlier, with Shireen maybe supposedly being 16, it might not work here. But I think them two got something going on, man. He's been around for a while. He's been around for a while now.
He was like,
hold on. He's been around for a while now. She's been just one-on-one healing this dude up in the village. They've been living a peaceful little life while he's healing, like looking at the damn ocean. He's got his long hair flowing and shit. And then as she like walks away, like he comes out and he's like, I'm feeling good. And Shireen's like, awesome. She's smiling and shit. She looks a little giddy. And she like touches him on the chest. Like this is some strong body language. Like I don't know if they planned it out to look like that, but I feel like they planned it out to look like that. Cause it's like, if I saw someone do that in real life, if you're not, if you like kind of get good at like kind of looking at people's body language a little bit, you would see that and be like, all right, that person, to touch someone on the chest like that is like, there's a super big sign of caring for someone and like,
it could just show
affection,
that. It could just show that, like Bucky isn't just like a unwanted visitor or something like that. Like he's become a big part of the Wakanda. Like they've accepted him. It could just be to show that they have the intimacy of like family.
It definitely could be. It's just a 14-second teaser, and that's only the last 2 seconds of it. So because it literally cuts right after that. It's like she tells him, she like touches him on the chest, like, "Come on, Bucky," or whatever, and walks off.
I was gonna make fun of you.
For me, I was sitting there like, for me in the theater, I was like, "Oh, those two are fucking."
Yeah, I was gonna make fun of you and say, and then what Josh saw at the end of that scene when they started making out.
Dude,
why did she touch him on the chest? Like
I don't know. I didn't even notice it after.
Just literally like about as affectionate as you can get. Like not like a hit or something. Like literally, it was just like if you were just to be like. All right, come on, and then she like hits like just a love tap right here, like a little light.
And did she like slide her fingers off?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well they might do that.
Because it was like this. Like it was like if you see like in the movie somewhere, you would be like, huh, and then it wasn't just like, come on, buddy, or something like that. It was like, come on, I got more to show you, or something like that, and then just like slides off his chest. Well, she might have been bare naked. No, he wasn't bare naked, but slides off his chest. And then he smiles and she smiles and they walk off.
Oh yeah, they definitely got something going on there. Because it's like if it slid off, it's like she wanted to touch him longer. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks for getting up and walking away from the mic to do that, Josh.
Yeah,
I'm sure they heard that entire
chest slides off. That's what I said. But so I mean, it seemed extremely affectionate to me. Like it could have been an accident or something, but for me, it looked extremely affectionate. I was like, those two are fucking. That was literally my first thought when I saw that.
I mean, you can't see it. I mean, if she's been the one that's been taking care of him all this time, there's no telling how long he's actually been in Wakanda. Because he could probably been in Wakanda for a couple of months.
Exactly.
And she's been the only one that's taking care of him. She just like started to develop feelings for him in a way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure, right? Like that could easily happen. I don't know if they'll do it. It might be some other issues with that in the future.
It might just be really light. It might be light.
Yeah, it could be like Jared said, like because again, I think he's taken, obviously, as the little kids called him, the White Wolf, so he's taken over that role as what would have been her stepbrother, essentially. Yeah. So it could be like Jared said, and like an affection, like he's become part of the family now kind of thing, and that's how he's going to transition to be the White Wolf, quote unquote. So, maybe that's the case. I don't know. That's just my theory. If it comes out and I'm right in the future, both you guys owe me nothing.
Hey, I'm saying
you were right. Yeah, fan theories. You know what I mean? That's mine. That's my fan theory for this movie and the future. Anything else? Nope. Fantastic movie. You should definitely go check it out.
You said you wanted to talk about his role in the Avengers and the next Black Panther.
Well, I kind of did the Avengers one. I think he's going to essentially
Okay, well, it's good.
replace. I think. Well, in this upcoming Avengers movie, it's just going to be essentially them coming, and he's like housing Captain America. He gets him his shield. Get this man a shield.
Yeah.
For some reason, they're fighting there because we see them, and you see the whole Wakandan army. Essentially. That's why I kind of have a feeling the Soul Stone's there. Like I see people online
makes
kind of
sense.
saying the same thing, and I think I must have somewhere because I'm getting this idea, and I don't think it's my own idea. So I must have saw somewhere someone saying that the Soul Stone might be in the vibranium.
I think we're gonna have a human Paul Bettany, like the Vision.
Yeah, well, we to some degree for sure. We've seen that in the trailer.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Because I think he's gonna take a stone. He's gonna turn human, and then that means we're gonna have the guy who played that one dude,
who was a machine, then became a demigod, and is now back to just a normal. Not back to, but is now a normal.
I'm mostly just excited that we get to see the actor in a big movie.
I love Paul Bettany.
Yeah. I just remember him from
that's his name?
A Knight's Tale.
He was in A Knight's Tale.
He was the
wasn't he in Legion too?
Yeah, he was.
He was the angel. He was the angel. I think it was Michael. Yeah. He was Michael.
Yeah.
He was also the guy who plays the albino guy in the guy who's always hitting himself.
Tom Hanks movie.
Yeah. Angels is Demon and Demons was the follow up. I think.
Yeah,
National Treasure. No, not that. Whatever.
The
Da Vinci Code.
Da Vinci Code. Yeah.
Yeah. He was also. You ever seen the movie Priest?
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, I saw that.
What's up with him and
doing the priest movies?
Yeah,
he's doing typecast, but he's a fantastic actor.
Yeah,
I love that guy.
His best movie to me was him in Legion because he was supposed to be the angel Michael, and God cast him out because he didn't go along with God's plan and stuff like that, and he had to battle against Gabriel and all that.
When we first saw him, at least when I first saw him, I'm pretty sure it was in the Knight's Tale.
It was the Knight's Tale,
and he was fantastic. And Knight's Tale is one of my favorite movies. My oldest daughter, or whatever, she's named after one of the characters in that movie. Jocelyn. So I fucking love that movie. That's where we first saw him. That's where we first really, I think, noticed Heath Ledger as well. And that's why Heath Ledger's such a it's not just him playing the Joker. We loved him from that way before Joker or The Dark Knight ever came out. And he's super fan. He's funny as shit in The Knight's Tale. He's great. He's like Heath Ledger's announcer guy, but he just picked him up on the side of the road. He was butt ass naked. He's like, I need some money. And he's like, you can be my announcer. Well, he essentially talks himself into being his announcer. He was hilarious.
Dang.
So it's a fantastic movie. Go check it out. I think that's it for the Brothers Woods. We love you guys. And we'll see you next week.
All right. See ya.
See you.
You know what I didn't like about Man of Steel?
What?
It was that scene where his dad's like, don't save me. His dad's like, in the hurricane or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, saving me is not, don't save me. And Superman's like, okay, you're right. I won't save you. I won't show my powers. That's the most anti-Superman thing I've ever seen.
That was kind of messed up.
By the way, sorry, go ahead.
That was kind of messed up because it's even though you're not as fast as Flash, you're still fast enough for nobody to be able to see you because you could at least save the dad, put him behind a brick wall or
but
something.
I think even if they saw him, he would do it. I think it's a very Superman thing for him to decide to do that.
Yeah.
I think thematically, I remember someone talking about it. It makes sense thematically. The whole point is that he doesn't know if he wants to be that or do that, and he's questioning it because his dad's telling him not to, and then at the end he decides to do it or something.
Yeah.
But while you watch it, you're just like, he just let his dad die.
Exactly, that's true.
And he likes his dad. It's not like he hated his dad.
It won't be a thing about him being a superhero now. It's about saving the person you care about right there.
Exactly.
It's not about being no Superman. It's like, do you want your dad to live?
It's too personal for him to do that, I think. If they would have ended on that where he saves his dad and then that he made that personal decision, maybe it would have made a lot more sense. Or maybe that was like a cat or something and he was like, it's just a cat, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I forgot how his dad died. I think his dad died by heart attack or something like that.
I thought he died in there. He was in. I can't remember what it was.
It was like a tornado or something.
Yeah, it was a weird tornado or something.
Well, I'm talking about comic book or TV show wise. I forgot his dad died, but I thought it was late something that was out of his control, like a heart attack, because he actually can't stop that or something like that. But it's that's something he could have easily prevented. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Or you can have it this would be crazy, but you could have had it Spider-Man style, where, I mean, we all know the Spider-Man thing where he lets the criminal go, he doesn't do the hero thing, and then because of that, his uncle dies.
Yeah.
He could have had a similar thing where Superman doesn't do the Superman thing, and then his dad dies as a result of it, and he goes, fuck this.